anyone who may be listening to this conversation feeling a little bit like, but I really like being married, and don't we all just have a choice now? And isn't feminism about choice? Firstly, like, I don't think feminism is just about choice. That's a very simplistic way of looking at feminism, and it's a very individual way of looking at feminism. But that aside, the implicit kind of suggestion that is in, like, I want to not worry anymore. What does that mean? Like, I want to not worry anymore. You want to not worry that you'll be alone, so you'll just get married? Like, is marriage just a panacea for being alone? Why is it so bad to be alone? But also, you and your partner have been together for 9 years. If you got married tomorrow, or announced that you were getting married tomorrow, the response that you got from, not just from your friends and family, but also, because you're a public figure, from the world, would be, oh my God, this is amazing. It's the best news ever. It's like, why does that, just this thing that you can do that literally pretty much anyone of adult age, at least in a two-partner arranged system now in the UK, or in countries where they allow same-sex marriage, anyone can do. It's not like an achievement in that respect. Why does that somehow suddenly elevate the relationship that you have spent 9 years nurturing and building and caring about and investigating and showing up for every day, as opposed to just being one where it's like, well, I just don't want to worry anymore? Why does that make your relationship more profound? And why, if you remain unmarried 9 years in, is that somehow a less stable relationship than a couple that gets engaged after 3 years of knowing each other? I feel like the hierarchy of marriage, people want to pretend that now, well, we've got choice and there's freedoms and you don't have to do it, and so marriage has changed, etc. But you can't escape the fact that there is still a social hierarchy and a status that comes from women in particular, saying that they are either going to be married, or that they will, or that they are married. That it's somehow, there's just like this sort of like little smug kind of thrill about it, that you're a married woman. And I quote, each of the chapters in the book opens with a quote, many of them actually from feminists who are have been dead for hundreds of years, to kind of prove the point that feminism wasn't invented in the 1970s to try and force women to go to work. Women have always worked. But I quote Pride and Prejudice, which obviously is also a book about the lack of options that women have in a world where they have no money and they don't have control over their own independent financial future. They have to tether themselves to marriage in order to survive. But Lydia Bennet, when she returns after having, eloped with Wickham in a very scandalous way, says to her older sister Jane, "No, you must go lower, Jane, for I am a married woman." And there is a shred of that remains in our culture, even if people don't want to admit it, that there is some kind of status that is given to women in particular, that when she becomes a married woman, she goes higher.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny you say that. Like, I've caught, and it's most often from women, this kind of attitude of, oh, so he's with you, but he doesn't quite want to marry you, as if I had no agency in that, as if that wasn't,
if he's
my
keeping
choice,
you
or
on the boil
mostly
until
my choice. Yeah. I don't think James gives a shit either way. Like, I don't think he.
But also, how insulting to you that.
Totally insane. But it's this feeling of like, oh, sorry, and it's like, no, this is great. This is what I want. But there is that sort of, and it's not in all people, but it's definitely something that I have encountered in the last almost decade, which is just like, oh, how come? Oh, well, that's okay. And I was like, I didn't need your reassurance. I'm fine.